Ep92 Thirst Web Inning Podcast, man. How you doing today?
Good, chilling. A little under the weather, but we gonna make it through.
For sure, for sure. We see the hat you got on, so we know how you coming tonight. And we're gonna start off how we do every episode with a Reddit warm up, man. We'll make it simple tonight. It's gonna be Mother's Day in a couple days. Do you have anything you want to say? If you want to, you could soliloquy that thing. But do you have anything you want to say to the special mothers in your life?
Oh shit! I appreciate everything y'all do for me when it comes to taking care of my kids, my girl, taking being a stepmom to my daughter. My mom, she still makes sure I'm good to this day. She'll give me the clothes off her back still to this day. I'm 28 years old, so yeah, I'm very thankful. And then my sister as well. She always got my back and everything. I'm very thankful for those three women.
For sure, I respect it. I want to send a special Happy Mother's Day to my great grandmothers. I was raised by grandmothers, and if anybody been raised by your grandma, you know it's like a bit different. So I think my grandmothers, Carolyn White, Hattie Watson. Happy birthday to my grandma Carolyn. Her birthday in a couple of days. Rest in peace to both of y'all. All my grandmas, my mother. I appreciate her. You know what I mean? My baby mamas. I ain't got a lot of them, only two. But shout out to both of them for helping me raise these kids, especially when I don't got the greatest patience and I got a lot of stuff going on, and without them, none of this is possible. And I just want to say I really do appreciate them, and gonna get them a little bit of stuff. And happy Mother's Day in general to all the mothers out there for real. Um,
Yes, sir.
Without further ado, we get right into the show, man. First, let's talk about the NBA playoffs so far. What's some of your takeaways about how we win?
Well, I think first round, just going off of that, the most I want to say entertaining and probably best series to me was the Knicks and Pistons. Um, that was kind of like a bunch of teams throwing haymakers, going back and forth, close games. Thank God the Knicks pulled it out because I would have been in shambles if they didn't.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know what's going on with the Cleveland game right now, but oh no, I'm pretty sure Cleveland wanted to blow the Pacers out tonight.
yeah, I
Uh,
think it was some halftime.
so they're down what 1-2 now. My Knicks up 2-0 heading back to the Garden. I think if we could take one game at the Garden, we pretty much put ourselves in good place to win out the series in the next three games or next two games, whatever they win it in. But the playoffs have been actually entertaining. Um, Hope it stays that way with Steph Curry getting hurt. In that series, I know you as a Timberwolves fan, you probably a little excited about Steph Curry hurt, but
Hey, I'm feeling decent.
it's been a decent NBA playoffs. LeBron got up out of there real quick. Uh,
Yeah,
Lakers need a center. That's all that shows me.
yeah, man. I was conflicted. I was excited, but super conflicted coming into this first round because Timberwolves is my team, but LeBron has always been my favorite player, and I root for his success. So it was like I wanted LeBron to get number five and get closer to his fifth, kind of more than I wanted the Timberwolves to win. But obviously, I'm rocking with my Wolves now. That Lakers series, man, it was an embarrassment, man. I don't think LeBron at this point. I know he came into the playoffs hurt, like he had a hip injury. I believe it was a growing injury, a growing injury. But he LeBron looks sporty. Like I hate to say it, like he's entering that stage where he just doesn't move as well as he used to. I think at this point, LeBron is probably the third option on a championship level team. I never thought I would say that, but it's just I think it's natural at this point with his age and all the mileage, the most NBA minutes of all time, that this is a natural second option. I don't think Luca was healthy or in great shape. And like you said, the Lakers need a center because for Rudy Gobert to have 27 points and 24 rebounds in a closeout game in any game is absolutely ridiculous. Um, it's
Definitely.
absolutely ridiculous. But I think JJ did a phenomenal job. I think he should have been right there for Coach of the Year. But besides that series, man, I think that my favorite series was the Nuggets versus the Clippers. That was a close contested series until
Yeah,
Game 7. The Nuggets just got them boys out of there completely.
that was a good.
Um,
Yeah, that was a good series, bro. I forgot about that one. That was a good one too.
I wanted I'm glad Kawhi got to the offseason healthy. But they gotta. I feel like they got some decisions to make because they got an older core for that team there. And a an injured core, I should say, older and injured, inexpensive. Um, and then the Thunder, they had a real cakewalk series against Grizzlies. That was But if Ja didn't get hurt, I think it would have been interesting. He said himself that he had figured them boys out, but I don't know, man. The Thunder, they look like a buzzsaw. It's a lot of injured stars in the playoffs right now, unfortunately. Before those stars got injured, the Rockets looked like the favorite. And now with a lot of injuries being faced, it's like they kind of, if Ant would have never came back, they would have had a cakewalk all the way to the finals. And that's something that a young, well-coached team don't need if you have aspirations of them not winning.
Yeah,
When it comes, but that's a lot of West. When it comes to the East, um, I think Orlando gave the blueprint for how to beat the Celtics, and I think they played them tough, but ultimately they didn't have the experience yet. The Knicks, obviously coming back 2 games straight from 20 point down, is that's crazy work. That's crazy work. They took both games in Boston, headed back to the Garden, and I think the Celtics is gonna win this next game just because they're gonna play desperate. But we gonna see. We gonna see. Obviously, this is a must win for the Celtics. They have to win the game.
yes, they
It's a
do.
must win. Um, and then Cavs and Pacers. It was injuries there. It was injuries with. Shout out to Dame, man. Hopefully, he get well soon. Dealing with some tough stuff there for sure. Probably gonna end up chopping it up by Giannis' future in the coming weeks here as the offseason is approaching. Because there's a lot of speculation there. But yeah, that Bucks team, I just think their title window is closed, and that's all right because it happened. They got a championship, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But besides that, man, and who the Chaos played? I know whoever they played, they got them up
The
out of
Heat,
their first round.
the Heat.
Oh yeah.
Heat lost
I
by
ain't forget who
50
they
in the blow
played.
in the 50 in the game 4.
Yeah, man. They gonna have to make some changes over there as well to the Heat, but we gonna see how that plays out, man. But good playoffs so far. I think it's been super competitive. I like the physicality. I feel like more physicality has been allowed, and I just personally like that. Personally, just me personally, I don't like all the ticky tack stuff. Let's get down to it. Let's really go out there and hoop. Draymond Green is a madman. I'm gonna say that again. Crash out player of the year for probably 3 years running. So shout out to Draymond for your continued success and your antics. You're very entertaining, brother. With that, we'll move on. Tell us about what y'all like in the playoffs so far. Who y'all team is, how they doing, if they made the playoffs, if they got kicked out. Lakers fans, let us know who we need to go. If do we need to be Giannis? Do we need to go out and get somebody else? Let me know. Let me know specifically. And
I
is
don't
this
know.
LeBron farewell tour next season? But
Mark
without that, we'll
Williams,
move on to some. What happened?
said Mark Williams, they could have used that boy.
Man, that nigga probably would have been injured.
Hey, but LeBron too. That's another thing. He's so old. He's getting up there in age. He can't recover from injuries as fast either, bro.
Facts.
So I know he was playing hurt.
Facts. I ain't gonna lie. We make it so bad. What the Lakers were missing was literally what they traded away. Like I hate to say it, hate to put it like that, but what they were missing is literally what they traded away with AD. They could have used another defender like Max Christie for Ant and Jaden McDaniel was just going crazy. I don't know when teams see the Lakers, they just like we finna prime up, like we finna do what we gotta do, and it is what it is. But
Yeah. I
we
don't
gonna
know the
see.
Lakers. Lakers did this for the win now, but I think they fucked themselves.
Mm.
They put themselves in a fucked up position. I think.
I feel you. I know Luka's gonna be playing this summer for the Slovenian national team. I didn't. I know it's, he by his country, and I respect it. But I would have just liked to see him get in like prime shape. And I know playing gonna help him get there. But like heal from some of them injuries. Maybe really spend the summer with LeBron, getting like rookie year Luka shape. Because I be seeing these videos where it's like Luka before American food, and dude was actually skinny. Like dude was actually skinny. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And explosive, getting to the rack, dunking on dudes. He was much more twitchy with his movements, and it's not like Luka is 30 or 35. Luka's 26 years old. Like he should still have that quick twitch movements and things of that nature. So it is what it is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Moving on to the NFL draft. NFL draft was about 2 weeks ago at this point. Um, a lot of franchises improved, in my personal opinion. What you want to holler about by the NFL draft, my boy?
I think the first thing we can do is one of your teams, the Jags, moving up to draft Travis Hunter. How you feel about that?
Personally, I feel like the Jags, they gave up a first round pick next year, but they also recouped a third round pick. So I guess that's kind of how they was looking at it, because they kind of felt like they were getting a player worth two players in the first round, which obviously they moved up to draft Travis Hunter. Um, Personally, he said the Jags, one of my team. I'm a Jacksonville native. My team is the Jets. I'm a diehard Jet fan. I, I rock with the Jags because I live here, but it's Jets all the way for sure. But as far as the Jags, I think they gave up too much. I don't know how good they're going to be this coming year, but a first round pick next year in a draft that's going to be littered with, I think, good quarterbacks. Um, that's tough. That's tough for the Jags, and you're picking a player. I think Travis Hunter is a good player. He's probably the best player in this draft. When we're just looking at it right now, talent for talent. I mean, he was the number one overall recruit in his class. He's expected to be the best player.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have to settle on a position. And I think, in my personal opinion, he's a cornerback. Um, and with that being said, would I pick a cornerback number two overall, much less trade up to number two overall to pick a cornerback, even when as talented as Travis Hunter? I'm not sure. This wasn't uh, an excellent cornerback class. You saw a talent like Will Johnson fall because of speed and injury concerns, fall to the second round. Um, Hairston, I forgot his first name, but went to Kentucky. He got
Uh-huh.
drafted at the end of the first round. And other than that, I'm not sure if there was another first round corner. So it was a shallow class. I'm not sure corner was the biggest need for the Jags. I figure they did it because they feel like they're gonna use him equally both ways. But we're gonna have to see, man. Obviously he's probably him and Brian Thomas are gonna form a dangerous duo.
Yeah.
And they just released Gabe Davis yesterday, so obviously that's something. But we're gonna have to see. Liam Cohen is gonna have to make a lot of noise in order to justify this decision. A new head coach for the Jags, and we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, no, a lot of questionable stuff. Like you said, I like I said, depending on what Travis Hunter plays, more of kind of depicts on if the pick was the right choice for them.
Mhm.
I know you said like the next draft class is quarterback heavy. So are you kind of in the motion that if Trevor Lawrence don't live up to expectations or show improvement this year, they kind of got to start searching for a new quarterback?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not gonna say he's holding them back. If they're paying you that amount of money and you're not at least making the playoffs, like you're picking number five overall, then you're holding them back. They got good receivers. Their offensive line could have been improved. If they would have stayed at five, I believe they would have went offensive line. Their defense was it was decent. It could be better, and I think they got young talent that is ascending and improving. So what else do you got to go to? It got to be the quarterback because you're not making the players around you exceptionally better. And next year, I don't think if Arch enters, you're gonna have Arch. You got Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers. and a few other quarterbacks off the top of my head that are going to be, in my opinion, have the ability to change your franchise. So, with that being said, Trevor Lawrence, you just paid him all this money. You got a new regiment. They didn't draft Trevor. So, if they feel like he's not our guy, we're not going to allow him to sink our ship and get us fired. At least I don't think they should do that. And NFL history has shown that to be the case. If you're not our guy, we're going to go out and get our guy so we can justify the ownership group that, hey, this guy needs time to learn. We shown you what this guy can do, or he's shown you what he can do. We didn't draft him. We're going to put our guy in place to see if he can elevate this team.
Okay, for sure. And then because I honestly wanted the Giants to get Travis Hunter. Uh, but
Mm.
I'm not mad at Abdul Carter. Um, I
How do
really
you think that's going to play out with those three pass rushers that they have there? What do
um.
you think they should do?
Well, I think Carter has like the versatility, kind of like Michael Parsons, to kind of play anywhere on the D line. Um, but if I had to have my fair share of picks, um, I think Kayvon would kind of be the odd man out. And when it came to playing time, uh, but regardless of the situation, I think with Abdul Carter, um, if he is or if he's gonna be what he's supposed to be, the Giants have a real centerpiece in their defense. They've gotten better defensively this season or this offseason with the addition of Abdul Carter. I believe what they got Javon Holland and a couple other pieces as well in free agency. So the Giants are trying, to make a difference on the defensive end. It's more of the offensive end where I'm kind of worried. Um, which, it's fine. Like I said, I don't expect anything big out of the Giants this year. They have, I think, one of the toughest schedules this year. Um, so it's kind of just going to be fun, watching Russ and Jameis, sling the ball downfield, throw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, stuff like that.
Jameis, the FSU legend, I'll never have nothing bad to say about you. But
Hey, man, that man a vibe, bro.
straight up, I think it's a good quarterback room, leadership wise and championship experience with Russ to go into for Jackson Dart as well.
Yeah.
I actually like Jackson Dart coming into this draft. I think he got the potential to be a good player to be all, and I like the Giants moving back up to get him. Um, a little bit about the other New York team, my team, the Jets. I think it was a substance draft for the Jets. It wasn't. We picked a lot of players at non-premium positions, but well, offensive tackle is a premium position, but Memba is going to be on the right side because we picked Alu last year to play the left. So I would say substance draft because we didn't go after flashy names. If Memba was there, I thought it would have been a good pick if we picked Tutorial McMillan. If we got a running mate for Garrett Wilson, maybe there are a couple guys on the board that I think would have been good picks there. Jared Carter to go along for the Jalen Walker. My bad, Jared Carter. Jalen Walker on the defensive side. I think he slid and I think he's going to be an awesome player. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. I think he's a top 6'5" talent, and he slid a little bit. And there were a couple other players there, but ultimately I like Memba. I think it's good to solidify our offensive line because Justin Fields is going to be our quarterback. There's no way around it. We didn't pick another quarterback in the draft. Shout out my boy Jordan Travis in his retirement, Florida State legend. Probably my favorite quarterback at Florida State history besides Jameis. Jameis just in another stratosphere, but shout out to Jordan in retirement. I hope you get a position on the FSU staff, and it sucks to see your journey in this way, but um, Justin Fields is going to be the quarterback. I like to pick a Malachi Moore. I like Mason Taylor at tight end position. He's automatically going to be the starter. And Ruckert is pretty decent at tight end, but I think Mason Taylor got picked to play. And
Mhm.
so we're going to see, man. We didn't make big splashes in free agency, didn't make big splashes in the draft. I think this is going to be a year where we just, see what we got, get our young guys developed and coached up, and I'm gonna have to read more reports about coming in the off season before I give a season prediction. But I expect us to be better than last year for sure because we got rid of a lot of distractions. What else you want to holler about the draft, my
Um,
guy?
who do you think had the best NFL draft?
Mm, that's a tough question right there.
Because
I think
there's
a
a
lot of
lot of
teams had
teams
good draft.
that I
Who
think
would you say?
I'm looking right now. I know there was a lot of teams that I would think kind of what the hell are y'all doing?
What the hell?
Give me a second. I'm looking.
That's an interesting question right there.
Because I know the Cardinals. I think they got a steal. As long as Will Johnson's healthy, I think they got a steal with him. Um, that's for sure. Because what they got him in the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they got Walter Nolan in the first round too.
Yeah,
Those are
they did.
foundational pieces.
They did. That's what I'm looking at too. I'm just looking at them and the Patriots right now because I think the Patriots had a really good draft as well. You
They
know,
did. I like Houston draft. I think Houston did a good job in the draft. I think they picked up two of the top three receivers in the draft from the same school, from Iowa State, whatever in the water there for Houston.
okay.
They got some offensive line help, and I also like the Browns. I think the Browns did well in this draft to pick up an extra first round pick. The linebacker Carson Swersinger from UCLA, I think he's going to be great for their defense. Mason Graham is going to be great for that defense. Um, and obviously, we're going to talk about this quarterback more extensively, but they got Shedeur, they got Dylan Gabriel. They're taking the swings at the quarterback position
Yeah.
that we know they've been taking for a long time. And they got a couple other pieces there. I like what the Browns did in this draft.
They picked up a nice tight end too in Harold Fannin. I
Yeah,
watched him out of Bowling Green a couple times, but I think the biggest thing was them going out and getting was it Dylan Sampson and Judkins? Just because I don't know if you've been following with Nick Chubb, but it don't look like an extension or anything likely.
yeah. It was reported today that he's actually not expected to resign there. And Dylan Sampson, he was one of the better running backs in the SEC,
Yeah.
behind a good Tennessee offensive line, but he was one of the faster quality backs in the SEC. So I expect him to get some immediate snaps there. Off the top of my head, I can't really say who else the Browns got in that backfield, like on their roster. It's not my team. Brown fans, let us know in the comments how you felt about the draft, and if you guys think you should have stayed at number two, how you felt about the draft class.
Yeah, for sure. But now, what else? And then, what would you say? What team would be kind of the underwhelming when it came to draft? And I know you kind of mentioned the Jets didn't really fill any needs that you felt were kind of what they needed to fill. Um,
I wouldn't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
or well, not that, but would you say like the position, like the popular positions or something like that?
Non-premium.
Yeah, non-premium positions. Yeah.
I I think we got decent players at the premium position. They're just young. Like I consider the premium positions. Now I have my thoughts about Justin Fields, but I think it's good to wait till next year to try to get a quarterback. But I think the premium positions are obviously quarterback, left offensive tackle, cornerback, and wide receiver at this point. And I think we got, obviously Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Alu, Nimba. I think we needed the field defensive tackle is another premium position. Obviously, we got Quinnen, and I think we could have did more at defensive tackle personally.
Farmer,
What happened?
Joshua Farmer.
Yeah, man. I would have loved two Jets, man. But we got Azarie. Shout out my Florida State guy getting picked up for the Jets as well. I think he's gonna be a surprise player in the league. I think honestly he's gonna be a surprise player. I think he had first round talent. I can't say for sure why he slipped into I believe the fourth or fifth round. I'm gonna say fourth round off the top of my head. Maybe it has something to do with his 40 time, but he's a player that I've never seen anybody blow by at the college level. I'm not sure if he allowed a touchdown last year. We were a horrible defensive team. They could have everybody was doing what they wanted to do. As a Seminoles fan. But I think he's gonna automatically get some PT on the Jets defense, and I think he's gonna be a big piece. I think he's a future starter, Azaria Thomas. But who had a underwhelming draft class? I would say the Raiders, man. I love Ashton Genty as a player, but me personally, I would never pick a running back. I want to say the first round, but definitely not the top 10. Ashton Genty is awesome. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be the offensive rookie of the year. But they had more pressing need. I think they could have added someone on the offensive line. Maybe they could have went somewhere on defense. Besides my boy that played for the D line that just got that huge contract. I can't believe I'm not remember his name right now. He's an awesome player. Um, you know what I'm talking about? Play for the Raiders, D line.
Oh,
Caucasian gentleman, play DN.
you talking about you're not talking about Crosby, obviously.
Yeah, Crosby.
Oh, okay, okay,
Crosby.
okay.
Yeah, Crosby for sure. Um, besides him and Christian Wilkins, man, I don't really know if they got any sticks on that defense, man. I think they could have took a swing at some defensive guys right there. Maybe a guy like Walter Nolan to pair with Wilkins.
Yeah.
Um, and Jalen Walker was still on the board, so we'll see how it plays out. But I would never take a running back in the top 10, especially when you got guys that I'm not gonna say we're as good as Genty. I think Genty is a generational talent in all honesty. But I think there was value there in later rounds if you wanted to even take multiple swings at the position. Um, but yeah, Marion Hampton, I love that pick too for the Chargers. Side note, but that's who I would say the Raiders. What about yourself?
Um, I don't think there was like any team that completely failed in the draft. Um, that's what I was looking at here just to double check my findings. But I would say the Titans kind of there was more of just kind of questionable picks with certain teams, and I think the Titans, with their defensive rating they had last year, I would have thought they kind of would have went more into defensively, which I think they
Mm,
what out of all of them out of about what 7, 8 picks, 9 picks. I think 3 of them were defensively. All the rest were touted towards the offense. Which I know
yeah,
you just drafted Cam Ward. You want to get him the protection. You want to get him a new young upcoming receiver and Alec Aminor and the Chimere DK
that guy that
out
put
of
up
Florida.
damn near 300 yards on Travis Hunter.
Yep. And then
Yeah,
you got Gunnar Helm out of Texas. And like I
yeah.
said, DK out of Florida. So you're getting him these decent weapons. But at the same time, they're young. I still don't think the Titans have enough offensive weapons, you know, to keep up with the points that I see their defense giving up.
I'm trying to think who they got Ridley at receiver, and I feel like they got one more receiver. I think they just signed Lockett. They picked up
And
that
they might
receiver
have.
from Miami.
I haven't
Huh?
seen. I said they might have signed Lockett, but I haven't seen anything like crazy. No big names. Let me.
They picked up the receiver from Miami, who's like a legendary Miami receiver, but he ran like a 4.9.
You talking about Restrepo,
Yeah, they picked up Restrepo.
bruh? Bro, nah, bro. He's nice, bro, but I don't think he gonna come in year one and just make that impact, man.
Nah, he was an undrafted free agent for a reason. Respectfully.
Yeah, their offense don't look too good either, bro. What I'm looking at, bro.
Who they got at receiver?
Oh yeah, they do got Tyler Lockett, but he's older. He's
Yeah,
coming
he
off what
older.
I think was a down year. They got
Yeah.
the Alec Aminor who they just drafted, Traylon
Yeah.
Burks who they just drafted, or Traylon Burks who they drafted that's turned to kind of
Sorry.
be
He a bus.
yeah,
A bus ass.
yeah. They got DK, they got Van Jefferson, Mason
Sad.
Kinsey, Bryce Oliver, Xavier Restrepo, James Prochet, and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, them boys sorry.
That's fuck.
Yeah, they sorry for sure.
And then I
I
just
mean,
don't
we.
feel like they gotten any better defensively.
Yeah, I don't even remember who they picked, and I think Cam Ward is a good quarterback, man. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think they got a decent young offensive line. Their head coach is offensive line oriented, so I think they're going to focus on the run game and giving him a solid pocket and try to get some weapons around him as they should. We're gonna see. I wonder what they end up doing with Will Levis. If he's still going to have a market out there, maybe he can go and sit somewhere and learn the position because he does have nice physical tools. He was getting compared to Josh Allen coming into the draft, even though he had a long stay in the green room.
I think
Um,
I just think honestly, it's just he do they have, his decision making wasn't all the way there. Obviously, we know that, but
yeah,
also, bro, he wasn't really. Besides Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard, he didn't really have nothing to work with. The offensive line wasn't too great, so it's
yeah,
kind of dudes just going into shitty situations. And not for real. I'm keeping it
yeah,
real. I feel like him being the starting quarterback last year was a shitty situation.
yeah,
And, it's only miraculous quarterbacks, bro. Only generational quarterbacks are going to be able to go into those types of situations and fucking make lemonade out of lemons. And
yeah.
that's how it is.
And when you say that, like that's so 100 because even a quarterback prospect the level of a Trevor Lawrence, he went into a sorry situation,
Yeah.
and I would say his decision making hasn't been as good as it was speculated to be coming into the draft. But he doesn't have the best situation around him either. Off the top of my head, I really can't name a Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman. Um, and um, and that's not to say maybe not to say, but I mean, I read a report that he got pressured very very quickly, like one of the top pressure rates in the NFL over the past couple of years, and they basically trying to insinuate that that boy seeing ghosts. And you never want a young quarterback to develop seeing ghosts. Like that's the worst thing. In my opinion, that's the worst thing that could happen because when they so happy, when they have such a happy trigger, I would say that leads to interceptions, tip balls, not
Yeah.
throwing the timing routes on time, taking unnecessary sacks, just a whole abandoning clean pockets. Like when you see quarterbacks doing that, you failed them. Take heed. You saw what happened with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was an insane quarterback prospect coming to the draft. The Jets, we didn't surround that man with no offensive line talent, barely any receiver talent. He developed, started seeing ghosts. He wasn't able to elevate the team. He has all the physical traits you would want in a quarterback. In my opinion, he has some of the best physical traits of a quarterback in the world, but definitely in the NFL. And it's like for whatever reason, his processing got sped up to a point where he's probably never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and that kind of sucks. But hey, it shows you when you pick in the top of the draft, you're in a city situation. You picking at the top of the draft, you're sorry. Your team suck, and
Yeah,
that's
you
just
messed
what
with
it
that boy mine. The BYU Cougar Hunter.
is. Oh yeah, I would say a quarterback who I think bounced back from that shit though is Baker Mayfield. Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield, one of the best quarterbacks in the league last year. And I did not see that after that Brown stint, but it just showed you he went from a sorry organization to a more respectable one, and now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So it just goes to show,
Yeah, that boy
um,
showed.
for sure. How you felt about that? What is that boy name? George Pickens getting traded to the Cowboys.
That kind of, I think, came out of nowhere for everybody. Because I don't think there was any speculation or any rumors going on about it. I don't even think there was any rumors going on about trading them or any speculation they was going to trade them. But I don't. The Pittsburgh GM or somebody said, that just something that needed to happen. Like it was something that they couldn't pass up or whatever. And it's George Pickens goes to the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. I feel like it's going to go either two ways. It's going to elevate his game, is just going to kind of completely diminish his game, as we know the type of player Dak Prescott can be, good and bad. Um, but I just don't understand the Steelers thinking. They have, what was it, 2,000-yard receivers on their team on an offense that struggled to put up points last year. That was getting saved by their defense a lot. You
Yeah,
trade for you traded for DK Metcalf. Um, and I don't even know who they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers for quarterback.
yeah, yeah,
Like, so I just don't get you're
It's
trading one of your
funny.
best assets on offense, knowing that you struggled on offense in the past.
Yeah,
So I feel like they kind of took a step back with that trade. Honestly, it just
yeah.
didn't
I
make
don't.
sense to me.
I feel you. I think it just showed that he was a male content. In that locker room, like they literally couldn't deal with him. And I think it shows that Mike Tomlin can't deal with you, who I think is one of the top coaches in the NFL, and one of the most disciplined coaches. You're going to a team that has a first year head coach who, before he became head coach, I'm not too sure that many niggas know who he was. Respectfully, he could turn into a great coach.
I don't
But
even know who he is.
yeah, we go we gonna see. But I just thought that was an interesting trade, especially when you just picked up DK Metcalf. I thought that would have made elite receiver
Two
duo that,
bullies. Two bullies.
yeah, the boys probably be fighting him on the field. but
Wow.
arguably, CD Lamb, I don't even think arguably. I think CD Lamb is just a better receiver than DK Metcalf at this point in their respective
Oh, for
careers.
sure.
And so Dak Prescott is gonna have weapons galore over there in Dallas. I'm not sure they got a running back. They probably went, you know. I was trying to see what they picked up in the draft. I'm sure Cowboy fan will let us
I
hear
think they
about
picked
it.
up Javante Williams. I think they signed Javante Williams from the Broncos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was a good running back a couple years ago. Who they picked up in the draft? Oh, Tyler Booker. I like that pick. Dallas always draft well, for sure. They always draft
Yeah.
well. They always got good fucking players. They just be underachieving. I love the Bears pick up their first two at least. What I see here, Carson Loveland. I think he's going to be a major part of the offense. Even though they just signed Cole Kmet to a big extension, um,
That man
their
trash.
12 personnel is going to be vicious. Along with them picking up Roma Dunze last year, they got I forgot that other boy name. I think it's Moore at receiver. He's a
DJ
really good
Moore.
receiver. DJ
DJ
Moore,
Moore.
and they picked up Luther Burden. I think Luther
I
Burden is
think
going
that's
to
a
be
steal where they got him.
that's a
Honestly.
steal. That's a steal right there, in my opinion, too. And we're gonna see. I do agree with you too. I like what the Patriots did this offseason in general. I think
Yeah.
they came up with a situation where they ain't trying to lose. I don't see what they did as an organization that's content winning, picking number 4 in the draft. To be quite honest,
Yeah.
last year they went and got Drake May. In my opinion, I still have an extreme high opinion of Drake May. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is pacing the field, but last year I think was a generational quarterback class. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a sensational year this coming year. And I think Drake May is going to have a good year too. They picked up Stephon Diggs to give him a weapon in the passing game, the intermediate routes. They ain't got much else at receiver, but but they I think they're gonna have a good system to get whoever they got at receiver the ball a little bit more. And I think their offensive line definitely improved with the addition of Will Campbell. Um, but we're gonna have to see. I think toughness is gonna be a good thing. I think they're never gonna be out of a game. Of course, I haven't seen the schedule, so unless they play in an upper echelon team, I think they probably win the games they're supposed to be. Now, don't get it fucked up. I'm not rooting for their success. I'm a Jet fan through and through. I hope they lose every game, but just being realistic here, they have a way better team than last year, and they obviously well, shit, I don't know. I ain't agree with that Gerard Mayo situation, but Mike Vrabel was the best coach on the market in my opinion. Um, shit, I wanted the Jets to hire him. To be quite honest, not
They
that
went
I'm
and got that
angry
boy.
about what happened.
So they went and got that boy.
Yeah, but other than that, man, I guess last thing we'll go ahead and holler at y'all folks about, man. How you feel about Shedeur? Well, before we get to that point, I also like that Atlanta said, "Fuck that, we're gonna go up and get a player who we really like." And James Pierce, they picked up Jalen Walker, and I think they're gonna have ferocious pass rush over the coming years. I also like Billy Bowman too. So shout out to Atlanta Falcons. It's up to Michael Penix. He got offensive line help, receivers, running back Bijan, good wide receivers. Like I said, I can't remember his name. I think his name London, and they got
Draco.
another receiver over there. Well, I can't remember his name. I apologize to y'all, but they got a good receiving core. They got talent on defense at least. Now it's up to Michael Penix to put it together. He didn't look too good. But the last thing we highlight y'all about is, of course, Sheduer Sanders took a big slide in the draft, man, all the way from a projected first round pick to being a fifth round pick, 144 overall. How you felt about that?
Uh, if the Browns was going to draft him to begin with, I don't know why they waited for him to fall so far when they could have got
Mm-hmm.
him over Dylan Gabriel and
Yeah,
could have went with another draft pick somewhere else.
yeah.
That's first things first. I just want to know kind of go inside the head of the GM and kind of wanting to see what they seen for him to drop that fast. Because we're talking about a guy midway through a college football season. They were talking about a top three pick, top three, top three quarterback in the draft. Him and Cam Ward might be fighting for the number one overall pick spot. All that, and then draft day comes. You don't hear his name for about what felt like 300 days. And then I seen a video. I think he was on the football field, practicing when he got the call that he was getting drafted by the Browns. So I just want to know what did it because I've been seeing all different types of reports. So I want to know like what the actual reason for his skid was.
Me personally, to be totally honest with you, like I would say, even when he was getting those comparison, I really believe that shit was a media hype. To be honest with you, because every Colorado game I've watched, and I watched a lot of them. I'm not a sideline hater. Like I watched their games, and every good team he faced, he struggled. Every good team he faced, he struggled. They played Nebraska. Nebraska beat the brakes off of him, and he didn't look good in those games. Arizona State, like he didn't look good in against really good teams. Um, I would say I was shocked that he made it out of the third round. I thought his tape showed he took way too many sacks. He takes
For sure.
way too many sacks, and that's definitely going to hurt you in the NFL because that's going to lead to you seeing fucking ghosts. Um, I thought his quotes throughout the year were like, I don't want to be too fuck it. I'm gonna just be me. I thought they were outrageous for like a franchise leader, like for a franchise leader to say stuff like, "I ain't have nobody blocking for me." Basically, my old line was sad. Them boys ain't give me no time to throw the ball, so that's why I was taking so many stacks. You're not taking accountability for your part in it. I'm not saying you got awesome protection, but oftentimes you held the ball too long trying to make a big play. Um, I do think that when they, I don't know why they got rid of their OC. Dion got rid of the OC, who would end up becoming the head coach at San Diego State. I thought he was a good OC, and I think after they got rid of them, their offense faltered and suffered. To be quite honest, Shedeur also doesn't have great physical stature as far as quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He's probably 6'2", 200 pounds. Doesn't have elite arm strength. I do think he's fairly accurate. I do think he should not have made it out of the third round. They said that he flopped on his interviews at the combine, and then before then, I didn't see great leadership as well. I mean, for the past 2 years, he didn't spent the past 2 years saying these niggas sorry. Like he was saying that the
Nah,
past
yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, um, he's gonna have an opportunity with the Browns, but at the same time, I don't. I think they're ready to move on from Deshaun Watson. Obviously, he's hurt. They got Joe Flacco. I think he probably has the inside track to start there. Dylan Gabriel, they invested more in him with a third round pick, so they probably got more invested in him. When you look on social media, it's obvious that the team probably wants Shedeur to start from what his teammates are saying on social media, but we're gonna have to see, man. He's gonna. I think this is a humbling experience, and we'll see, man. I don't really know what his ceiling is. If I say it, people probably say I'm being outrageous, but I see a lot of Andy Dalton, who's a starter in the league, who went to the playoffs a couple times, but I see a lot of Andy Dalton like in his game personally.
Shit, who had a better career, Shedeur or Shiloh?
Shit, man, Shiloh went to a way better situation, bro. Like he played for the Bucks. He might not get much PT because the Bucks. I mean, that safety room is
Yeah.
probably one of the best in the NFL. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Playing for the Browns is crazy. Like, I don't know.
Hey, bro, I think, bro, but I mean, he went to that situation like Cam Ward did, though. Like he got like a 75%, 80% chance to be the starter day one. Come week one,
Shedeur,
no, yeah,
you think so? Why you think so?
because Deshaun Watson, like I said, they need to move on from that.
Shit,
You
yeah,
know,
okay, for sure,
fucking freaky ass nigga. They need to move on from him for sure.
for sure.
And then him, Dylan Gabriel, and what, Joe Flacco, right?
Yeah, and Kenny Pickett. They also traded for Kenny Pickett this offseason too. I forgot about
We know what Kenny Pickett brings to the table.
that.
We know Joe Flacco is there
Shit.
for when these niggas get hurt. That's what I think Joe Flacco does. Nah, like G, bro, he because what he played for the Browns before. Didn't he win like comeback player of the year with them or something like that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played well.
They honoring the man, bro. But do I
Yeah.
expect him to play? No. The only reason I think he played last year was because he was in a situation where Anthony Richardson was just fucking up.
Okay, I get those veterans, but why do you think that he has an opportunity over Dylan Gabriel?
I just like more what I see from him than Dylan Gabriel. Like you say, he holds the ball too long, all that stuff. I just, I hope he just uses his motivation, bro. He got to get in
I
there, bro.
feel it.
He got to, but also, Dylan Gabriel looked good, but for the past, what, 4 years, he's been playing behind the Oklahoma O line and an Oregon O line with elite weapons. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
So it's more of kind of on Dylan Gabriel has to show me more than I think Shedeur got it locked up. So
I feel you, man. I just think that Dylan Gabriel was an overall better prospect than Shedeur personally. Um, I also didn't think Shedeur has the best footwork, but Dylan Gabriel, I think he's a better, and I think the Browns invested more in him. The only reason I think the Browns took Shedeur, honestly, is because they didn't have another pick in the draft, and they thought the value was too high to let him go past the fifth round. Like I felt like that was damn near the ownership group saying, "Hey, we don't have another pick in this draft. If we wanted to get him in the seventh round or something like that, then shit, then we won't have an opportunity. So let's just get him right now and let the quarterback room sort itself out." I think if shit, honestly, I think when it got to be past the third round, I think it should have been a situation where he went undrafted and he got a chance to pick his team, because that way you can choose like a more like at least a more stable situation. Like if he would have got a chance to go to a team with an established quarterback and learn from them for a few years, then get traded out of there. Same thing that kind of just happened with Joe Milton.
okay,
They didn't have a veteran, but I forgot where old Joe just went, but he's going to another team with a
I
veteran,
think
I
he on the
think.
Cowboys, ain't he?
Probably should. Think so. But we know Dak gets hurt.
Oh yeah, I know that boy licked his chops. Boy, that boy ready to play, and he showed
So,
that he could be Joe Milton, bro. You give him a couple years, some work,
mm-hmm.
bro. He could be elite, bro. Especially with that arm. He showed that in the
Yeah,
last weeks of the NFL, like of the season.
yeah. I think if Shedeur would have went somewhere like the Cardinals, because we know I forgot the quarterback name over there, Murray, my Kyler Murray get hurt, and I don't think the Cardinals in love with Kyler Murray, to be honest.
You
If you would
know,
have went to like for example, I think what's the boy name? I'm sorry, y'all. Look, you can tell we've been off for a couple weeks. What's the boy name? Play for Seattle. Got drafted from Alabama, the quarterback.
Milrow.
I think he's in a great situation behind Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I don't think he got many more years to play. Well, he ain't old, but it's like
He don't got what
I'm
he
a
got.
Jets fan,
He
so I
don't
don't really.
got what he got in from Minnesota. He don't got that type of. Let's be real, bro.
That type of talent.
Yeah, he don't got that type of talent around him, bro. He ain't got no
Yeah,
Justin. He don't, bro. Justin Jefferson, no Justin Jefferson. DK
yeah.
Metcalf gone.
Jordan Addison. Yeah.
You would have had to pay me to sign there. Like, pay me.
They did. They
Exactly, bro. You
paid
would have
that
had
boy.
to pay me, bro, for these years of misery I'm about to have.
Yeah. I don't know about misery, man. I think the Seahawks gonna surprise some folks,
Pete
man.
Carroll gone. Niggas
Yeah.
lost it, bro. That shit over with.
Oh, they also traded we just talked about him, Fonum, that went to the Steelers, the receiver.
DK.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I said.
he,
DK gone, bro. Who do you have on offense? It's Smith and Jigba, yeah.
yep,
But who
Smith and
else?
Jit, Noah Fant, Noah Fant,
That man,
the young.
he ain't gonna carry no offense. He all right.
I feel you.
Ain't
They
no
did. I
keeping
think they
Metcalf.
fired their offensive coordinator too. But
Who they got? Kenneth Walker. Their defense is
yeah,
decent. Like their
his
DBs are nice.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know about
yeah.
their D line. I haven't paid too much about their D line, but I think their best D lineman, if I'm not mistaken, is Leonard Williams. So
He's a good player, man.
he
He's
is, but
yeah,
you get
yeah.
what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. And they had Freaky Boy from last year. I don't comment on people's sexual life, but a D tackle. Um, oh, if you don't remember, I ain't even gonna bring it up. But yeah, they caught that boy in some or
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about. I know
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about. Oh, light skin with the dreads. Yep, I know what you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
To begin the
But
season too, man.
yeah, before the year, and then I like they picked up Nick Yurman too. I think that was a steal. I think he was the second best player in the draft. I think people had my guy that went to the Baltimore Ravens fucked up. Malachi Starks. Every time I watch Malachi Starks, it seemed like he was the best player on the field. Like he was elite player. Started as a freshman at Georgia. You know how hard for sure. That I think that was a good pod, bro. We got a lot of talk about anything else you want to say about it.
Go Knicks.
I hope they pull it out too. I picked the championship. OKC looking daunting. I want to see the old guard still stick around. And Knicks ain't had a championship in a long ass time, so I hope the Knicks go ahead and lock in that championship run.
Yes, I was, bro. Last time they won the shit was before I was born.
Way before niggas born. Willis Reed type shit.
I would have been born. I was born twice, motherfucker.
What? It's been a minute. Um, shit, man. But y'all tell us how y'all felt about this draft, about y'all specific teams. Anything we said, if y'all feel like Shedeur was had an unjust slide, or you feel like the slide was justified. How y'all feel about these current NBA playoffs, man? Who y'all think gonna win the championship? Go ahead and stop being scary, lock in on picks, and we move forward from here. I appreciate you, my guy.
Yes, sir.